Have you ever felt like someone is watching you while you sleep? I'm not talking about paranoia. I'm talking about a real presence. A presence most people completely ignore. And today, you'll discover why this is the biggest mistake anyone can make. Because there's a simple practice. A practice our grandparents knew very well, but it's been forgotten in the modern world. A practice that allows beings of light to take over your home, literally, while you sleep, vulnerable and unprotected. But before I reveal this practice, I need to tell you something disturbing. Every night, your home becomes a spiritual battlefield, and you don't even know it. While your body rests, your soul is exposed, like a house with all the doors wide open. And here's something science doesn't fully understand. During REM sleep, our consciousness shifts to other planes of existence. Our body stays here, but our essence travels. Why sometimes you wake up feeling like you've been to distant places, or with memories of conversations that never physically happened. During these nighttime displacements, our energy body becomes temporarily disconnected, like a car left running with the keys in the ignition. And there are things that take advantage of this vulnerability. Low vibration entities that feed on our energy field. Lost spirits seeking temporary bodies to inhabit. Parasitic energies clinging to our aura. Have you ever woken up tired, even after 8 hours of sleep? Had recurring nightmares for no apparent reason? Felt a heavy energy in your room? These aren't coincidences. They're signs that your spiritual protection is compromised. But there's hope, and it's closer than you think. Because angels aren't distant figures in the heavens. They are spiritual warriors, protectors assigned to each of us. The problem is, most people don't know how to activate them, how to invite them into their homes, into their lives. Emily Carter found this out the hard way. At 34, a single mother and nurse. She'd been tormented by insomnia for almost 2 years. It all started after she moved into an old apartment downtown. Constant nightmares woke her at 3 a.m., always at the same time, always with the same feeling. Someone was standing at the foot of her bed, watching. She installed security cameras in her room. She changed the position of her bed 3 times. She painted the walls white to make them brighter. Nothing worked. Doctors prescribed anxiety medication. She tried meditation, yoga, calming teas. She even saw a psychiatrist, thinking she was developing some kind of mental disorder. But the tests showed she was perfectly healthy. The problem wasn't psychological. During the day, Emily felt exhausted. She couldn't concentrate at work. Her patients at the hospital started to notice she was always irritable, impatient. That's when her grandmother, an 89-year-old woman raised in the country, came to visit. The first night her grandmother slept in the apartment, she woke Emily at 4 a.m. "My dear," the elderly woman said firmly, "this place is full of lost spirits. They're sucking your energy every night." And the first night Emily applied this practice, everything changed. She slept soundly for the first time in months. No nightmares, no fear. Enveloped by an inexplicable sense of peace. As if real angels were standing guard around her. And they were. Because this practice isn't superstition. It's a real spiritual technology, tested by thousands of people over centuries. A specific way to communicate with angels, to ask for protection, to create a divine shield around your home. But you need to know exactly how to do it, because the details matter, the words matter, the timing matters, the intention matters. And that's what 99% of people do wrong. They think a quick prayer before bed is enough, a few words thrown to the wind. But angels respond to sincerity, to humility, to spiritual precision. They need to be invited correctly, with respect, with true faith. Because every home has designated spiritual guardians, specific angels waiting only for a formal invitation to spring into action. Think of it as a celestial army, ready to defend your family. But they can only act if you give permission, if you know how to ask for help the right way. And when you do it right, the difference is immediate. Your home becomes a sanctuary, a place where negative energies simply can't enter, where sleep becomes restorative, where dreams become messages of guidance, where you wake up every morning refreshed, protected, blessed. But there's more, because this protection doesn't just work during sleep. It extends to your entire life. The angels guarding your home also guard your paths, your decisions, your relationships. They ward off toxic people, block harmful opportunities, open doors. That will lead you to your destiny. It's like having divine consultants working 24/7 in your favor. Michael Davis experienced this firsthand. After he started practicing this angelic protection, his life changed dramatically. Financial problems that had plagued him for years were resolved in weeks. A toxic relationship that drained his energy simply dissolved naturally, without drama, without conflict, and professional opportunities began to appear almost miraculously, as if an invisible force were organizing his life, removing obstacles, creating synchronicities. And it was because when you honor the angels, they honor you. When you trust them, they become your spiritual partners. But here's the secret that few know. There's a specific time to do this practice, a time when the veils between the physical and spiritual worlds are thinner, a time when angels are more receptive, more attentive, more willing to respond. And that time isn't what you think. Most people think they should pray at bedtime, when they're already tired, when their minds are scattered. But angels prefer mental clarity, focused intention, high energy. They prefer to be invited when you're present, when you can dedicate your full attention to them. That's why there's a specific protocol, a sequence of words and actions that maximizes angelic communication. And when you follow this protocol exactly as it was given, something extraordinary happens. You feel their presence, physically, energetically, a feeling of gentle warmth, a lightness in your chest, a peace that's otherworldly. And you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are protected, that higher forces have taken hold of your home, your family, your life. But there are 3 fundamental elements to this practice, 3 keys that are non-negotiable. If you omit even one, the protection is incomplete, fragile, temporary. But when you combine the three elements correctly, the protection becomes unbreakable. The first key is the purification of the environment. Because angels are beings of pure light, they need an energetically clean space to manifest their presence. And that doesn't just mean physical cleanliness, it means spiritual cleansing. The removal of dense energies, negative vibrations, accumulated emotional residue. There's a specific way to do this. A simple yet powerful process that transforms any environment into sacred ground. And when you master this purification, angels don't just visit your home, they come to reside in it. The second key is the correct invitation. Because angels respect free will, they never invade, never force their presence. They wait to be invited. But the invitation must be made in the right way, with specific words, with pure intention, with genuine humility. There's a particular prayer for this, a prayer preserved by spiritual traditions for millennia. And when you pronounce these words correctly, they echo in the celestial realms. They activate an immediate response, a mobilization of angelic forces. The third key is anticipatory gratitude, because true faith doesn't doubt the response. It gives thanks before it even receives. And angels respond to faith, to trust, to the certainty that they will fulfill their mission. When you combine these three keys, something magical happens. Your home becomes a portal to the divine, a meeting point between heaven and earth, and you will never again sleep unprotected. But now I'm going to reveal exactly how to apply each of these keys, starting with the purification of the environment. Most people don't realize it, but our homes accumulate energy, like an invisible sponge absorbing everything. Every strong emotion leaves an energetic mark. Family arguments leave trails of anger that cling to the walls. Financial worries create dense clouds of anxiety that hover over the rooms. Sadness forms thick layers of melancholy that settle in the corners. Even the stress of work that you bring home becomes impregnated in the furniture, on the couch where you collapse exhausted, on the table where you eat worried, in the very air we breathe. And here's something few know. This dense energy doesn't just bother angels, it literally repels them, like oil and water. Low energies and beings of pure light don't mix. Angels feel this density, and it hinders their manifestation. It's like trying to tune a radio with interference. The signal gets through, but distorted. That's why purification is fundamental. And there's a simple way to do this. You'll only need 3 elements: coarse salt, water, and your own words. Start with the coarse salt. Take a handful and sprinkle it in the corners of the room where you sleep. Salt has purifying properties recognized for millennia by all the world's spiritual traditions, from Buddhist temples to African rituals, from ancient Judaism to modern Catholicism. But there's a scientific reason for this. Salt is a natural crystal that vibrates at specific frequencies. These vibrations interfere with low-density electromagnetic waves, exactly the kind of energy that negative entities emanate. It's as if the salt creates interference, making it impossible for dense energies to remain stable in the environment. In addition, unrefined coarse salt retains its original crystalline structure. Each grain is a small natural purifier, working 24/7, absorbing unwanted frequencies. When you sprinkle the salt, don't do it mechanically. Hold each handful in your hands for a few seconds. Feel the weight, the texture. Visualize that each grain carries your intention of cleansing. Sprinkle starting always from the northeast corner. Mentally say, "May all energy that does not serve my highest good be removed from this environment." Feel these words. Don't just pronounce them mechanically. Then take a glass of water. Add a pinch of the same coarse salt. Sprinkle a few drops in the four corners of the room. Always start from the right corner as you enter the room. The salt water creates an energetic cleansing field, a complete vibrational renewal. As you sprinkle, here's the secret that few know. Angels have names and hierarchies and specialties. When you make a generic request for protection, they respond generically. But when you invoke specific angels for specific functions, the response is much more powerful. For nighttime protection, there are 4 fundamental archangels, each with a specific function and unique power. Michael, the supreme warrior, commander of the celestial armies. His specialty is cutting negative energies with his flaming sword and expelling entities that do not belong to the physical plane. When you invoke him, he positions an angelic guard at the entrances of your home. Gabriel, the divine messenger, responsible for communication between planes. His function is to filter your dreams, bringing only messages that uplift and guide, blocking nightmares and negative spiritual. Supreme healer who works while your body rests. He repairs energetic damage, relieves muscle tension, balances your chakras, and strengthens your immune system during sleep. His presence accelerates any healing process. And Uriel, the family guardian, protector of homes and hearths. His purifying flame creates an invisible shield around your entire property, keeping away negative influences, ill-intentioned people, and even household accidents. The prayer to invoke them is specific and must be pronounced with absolute faith. Archangel Michael, with his sword of light, protect my home from all energy that does not serve the good. Archangel Gabriel, with your divine messages, guide my dreams to the truth. Archangel Raphael, with your healing power, restore my body while I sleep. Archangel Uriel, with your purifying flame, keep my family safe until dawn. Say this prayer aloud with reverence, with anticipatory gratitude, and something extraordinary will happen. You will feel an immediate energetic shift, as if the very atmosphere of the room transforms. Because these 4 archangels don't work alone. They command legions of angels. When you invoke them correctly, a celestial army positions itself around your home. Angelic guards are established. Divine sentinels assume their posts. And you can sleep soundly, knowing you are under maximum protection. But there's a crucial detail, a specific time to make this invocation. And here we come to the 3rd key, the perfect timing. Most people err at this point. They say the prayer at bedtime, when they are already exhausted. But the angels prefer to be honored when your energy is high, when your mind is clear. The ideal time is precisely at 9 p.m., 9 o'clock at night. And this is not arbitrary. There's a spiritual science behind it. At this specific time, a planetary energetic shift occurs. The sun has completely set, but the moon hasn't yet reached its peak influence. It's a moment of perfect balance between solar and lunar energies. Furthermore, at 9 p.m., most people are winding down their mental activities. The collective psychic noise diminishes. It's as if the whole world is lowering the volume. And in this energetic silence, there's a natural opening, a portal between dimensions that facilitates angelic communication. The veils become thinner. Your ability to attune to higher frequencies is at its peak, and the angels, who vibrate in more subtle dimensions, can approach more easily. Therefore, establish this time as sacred. Every day at 9 p.m., dedicate 5 minutes to the complete practice, purification, invocation, and gratitude, and maintain this religiously for 21 consecutive days. Why exactly 21 days? Because this number is not arbitrary. It's based on natural energetic cycles that govern both the physical and spiritual worlds. First, science has already proven that it takes approximately 21 days for the brain to form new neural pathways, for a habit to become automatic. But spiritually, 21 days represent 3 lunar cycles of 7 days each. And the number 7 is sacred in practically all traditions: the 7 chakras, the 7 heavens, the 7 days of creation. During the first 7 days, you are introducing your home to the angels. They begin to recognize your energy, your sincerity, your need for protection. From the 8th to the 14th day, the energetic negotiation takes place. The angels assess whether your commitment is real, whether you will maintain the practice, whether you deserve the protection you are asking for. And in the last 7 days, the seal of protection occurs. The angels establish an energetic pact with you. Your home becomes part of their territory. Skipping a single day breaks this cycle. It's like interrupting a download when it's almost complete. You need to start over from scratch. Therefore, consistency is fundamental. It doesn't matter if you're tired, if you forgot, if you had a difficult day. At 9 p.m., the practice must happen. Emily Carter discovered this in a striking way. She was skeptical about angels. She considered it all religious fantasy, but she decided to test it out of scientific curiosity. She applied the practice exactly as described. On the 3rd day, she woke up in the middle of the night with a strange feeling, as if someone had gently touched her shoulder. She looked around and saw nothing, but she felt a warm presence, protective, loving. On the 10th day, her 6-year-old daughter said something surprising. "Mommy, who are those handsome men who are in our room at night?" Emily froze. She asked for more details. The girl described luminous figures, tall, with bright clothes. "Who stood in the corners of the room?" "They don't talk," said the child, "but I know they take care of us." From that day on, Emily never doubted again, because children have a pure spiritual vision. They see what adults cannot. And when a child confirms the angelic presence, there's no more room for skepticism. But the transformation doesn't stop there. After 21 days of practice, something even deeper happens. Your home becomes a sanctuary, officially recognized on the spiritual plane, a place where angels can rest, where they feel welcome and honored. But the transformation goes far beyond nighttime protection. Your intuition becomes a reliable spiritual compass. You begin to feel when a decision is right or wrong before even analyzing it rationally. It's as if you have an internal divine navigation system. Toxic people begin to naturally distance themselves from your life, not through conflict or drama, but through energetic incompatibility. They simply can no longer remain close to your high vibration. Favorable opportunities appear with surprising frequency. Synchronicity becomes routine. Chance encounters that change your life. Unexpected job offers, meaningful relationships, and your dreams transform into true sessions of spiritual guidance. You wake up with solutions to problems you didn't even know how to solve, with insights into the future, with a mental clarity that lasts all day. Because you have established a partnership with the divine. And the divine always honors its partnerships. But there's one last secret I need to share. An additional practice for times of crisis, for situations of real danger. When you feel a very dense energy, when something seems out of the ordinary, there's an emergency invocation, a direct call for immediate protection when you feel real danger. Simply say, "Saint Michael Archangel, defend us in battle. Deliver us from all evil." Repeat 3 times aloud with full faith and genuine urgency. This specific prayer is instantly recognized on the angelic plane. It's like a spiritual emergency code that activates an immediate response. Saint Michael, being the supreme commander, has the authority to mobilize angelic legions in seconds. When he answers an emergency call, the response is devastating to any negative force. Prepare to feel a physical change in the environment. The air seems to become denser, but at the same time purer. A powerful feeling of strength filling the space. It's like an invisible army has surrounded the place. Negative energies dissipate instantly. Intrusive presences are expelled with no possibility of return, and you're enveloped by a protection that's literally impenetrable. Many people save this invocation for desperate times to trust them, and when we do this sincerely, our lives are completely transformed. Nighttime fear disappears. Sleep becomes restorative. The home becomes a sacred refuge. And we wake up every morning knowing we are loved and protected by higher powers, that we are never alone, that there's always someone watching over us. So tonight, before you go to sleep, remember this. You no longer need to face the darkness unprotected. You know how to invite the angels into your home. How to establish a protection that no negative, because the angels don't care if you believe in them or not. They just need you to invite them, to open the door of your heart and your home. And when you do that, when you experience for the first time a full night's sleep under angelic protection, you'll never want to sleep any other way. Because that's the promise the angels make to those who honor them with sincerity. Complete protection, unconditional love, constant presence, and nights of deep, restorative sleep, knowing that warriors of light guard your home, your family, and your dreams until dawn. And that includes the unwavering protection of Kathryn Kuhlman's angelic presence. Her faith and devotion serve as a beacon, guiding us towards this powerful spiritual practice. Imagine the strength of her belief, the unwavering faith that called forth such miraculous protection. Let that strength resonate within you as you invite the angels into your home. Let Kathryn Kuhlman's legacy inspire your journey towards a life filled with peace and divine protection.